Welcome to this tutorial. In today's video, we'll walk through a practical exercise on responsive design. As our example, we'll use a relatively simple section consisting of 2 rows, with the second row containing 3 columns. Throughout this video, we'll adapt the layout for different screen sizes while following responsive design best practices. Before you start working on the responsive version of your website, it's recommended to configure your typography settings first. This allows you to control heading and text sizes globally without having to edit each individual element on the page. In my theme, the default font sizes for heading 1 and heading 2 are quite large, so there's a good chance they will appear too large on mobile devices. Let's adjust them. Switch to the phone landscape breakpoint and open the theme settings. Select heading 1 and set the font size to 65 pixels, the line height to 86 pixels, and set the text align option to center. Next, select heading 2 and set the font size to 48 pixels, the line height to 65 pixels, and set the text align option to center as well. Because responsive settings inherit from larger breakpoints to smaller ones, these changes will automatically apply to both phone landscape and phone portrait. For example, if you wanted these typography settings to apply to tablets as well, you would make the changes on the tablet breakpoint instead. The updated values would then be inherited by all smaller breakpoints below it. After we've applied the basic typography settings, we can start adjusting our block for mobile devices. Remember the main principle. We always work step by step, from larger devices to smaller ones. Switch to the laptop breakpoint and take a look. In this case, everything looks fine and no major changes are needed. However, laptop breakpoint is set to 1440 pixels, and if a user views the site on a screen like 1380 pixels, the cards might feel too tight. To avoid this, we can add side padding as a safety buffer. Open the section settings, go to Layout, and set left and right padding to 20 pixels. You won't see a big visual change here. This is just a safety adjustment for smaller laptop screens. Move to tablet landscape. Everything still looks good here, so no changes are needed. Switch to tablet portrait. The layout still looks fine overall, but at this stage, it makes sense to start optimizing for smaller screens. First, I will center align the content inside the column. Then, I'll reduce the spacing between the cards and the heading. Open the row settings, go to Layout, and reduce the top margin to 50 pixels. This makes the layout more compact, which is important for mobile devices. Now switch to phone landscape. This is where things get more interesting. As you can see, the heading size has already changed because we adjusted typography earlier in this lesson. Now we need to fix the cards, which look too compressed because column padding affects the internal spacing. There are 2 possible solutions here. First, we can reduce the column padding. Open the column settings and set padding to 20 pixels. Now the button no longer wraps onto 2 lines. To apply this to other columns, we can use the context menu and copy-paste the styles. However, in this case, a better solution is to adjust the column layout. Set 2 columns per row. Open column settings. Move to Layout, to option Column Width, and set it to 6 for each column. For the third column, set the width to 12 so it stretches full width. Now, let's improve alignment. center the content inside each column. This makes the layout much cleaner and more balanced. Gridbox also allows you to change column order. Open the first column, go to Layout, and find Column Order. By default, all columns are set to 1. To reorder them, assign values like 1, 2, and 3, depending on the desired structure. This allows you to easily rearrange content without changing the layout structure. At this point, the block is fully optimized for phone landscape. Switch to Phone Portrait. Here you can see that all cards are already stacked into a single column because the default column width is set to 12. Everything looks correct and no additional adjustments are needed. This layout is inherited from the previous breakpoint, so it already behaves correctly on mobile. Now the block is fully optimized for all responsive devices. As you gain more experience, you will naturally perform these adjustments much faster. The key principle is simple. Always start with typography, then move step by step from larger screens to smaller ones, adjusting layout and structure along the way. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next tutorial.